So I shifted to a Love and Deepspace reality, but it was an alternate universe kind of reality. Like I always do, I'm going to explain how I shifted there. I've been using the law of assumption and I've been trying new things. I have been experimenting with witchcraft lately. I'll talk more about using witchcraft to shift realities in another video. So yeah, I'll go more in detail about it in another video. I also learned how to make my own subliminals. If you want me to make a video about how I make my own subliminals, then comment down below if you want to see that. I don't know if that would be interesting. Oh my gosh, my eyes, I cannot see. Okay, I started doing all of this just 2 weeks ago, right after I made my last video. This time for this shift, I went more with the flow and I decided to write just a few things in my scripts. The first thing that I wrote was that I will shift to a Love and Deepspace reality. The second thing that I wrote was that I am the MC. Third thing that I wrote was long. I have to read it. I will shift to a place and time in that reality where I am not yet together in a relationship with Silas, but I am about to be. That's very specific, I know. I just feel like doing that, okay? If you don't know what Love and Deepspace is, it's a sci-fi mobile otome ARPG, and Silas is one of the main characters that the MC knows. I did not shift to the exact time and place that is in the game, but everything that I wrote in my script did happen. In that reality, me and Silas are about the same age. We were teenagers who went to the same school. This school is similar to other schools that have a homeroom teacher in each class and that have teachers that would switch off or would rotate. Of course, lunch would be different, and if you had PE, you would have to go get changed and go to the gym. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to be talking about. So I'm not going to be talking about what I would usually be doing in that reality. For example, I'm a student. I'm a student in high school in that reality. So I would have the same routine. I would pretty much be doing the same thing every day, but I will talk about what happened over there. Like the things that I think are more interesting to talk about. This wasn't the day that I shifted there, but it was the following day. It was my birthday. I don't really care much about my own birthday. I don't really celebrate it. Honestly, deep down, I wanted to do something on my birthday. I say that I don't care when I actually do care. There would be times that me and my family would struggle with finances, and I wouldn't want to be a burden on my family. This was on a weekday, so I had classes in the morning up until the afternoon, and then after classes were done, I headed back home. Okay, so my family over there is the same family that I have over here in my current reality. So it's me, my dad, my siblings, my family members. They were all in the living room hanging out while I was busy cleaning. In that reality, when my dad isn't cleaning, I would clean instead. I did chores pretty much to help out around the house. While I was cleaning, my friend called me and she said that she was outside, like she was visiting. So I went to go get her outside and lead her inside the house where I was cleaning, and we talked for a bit. It was already almost nighttime by the time my friend came, and we started talking about what we could be doing together since it was my birthday. I don't want to say her name because she's actually someone who I knew here in this reality, in my current reality. Jackie. Her name was Jackie. Okay. I was gonna say Jackie. I don't know. Jackie goes to the same school as I do, but we have different classes. She got a text from her friend who also goes to the same school as us, and she said that she was going to go to a party, and she asked Jackie if she wanted to come with her. Because it was my birthday, Jackie invited me to go with her to go to that party. Parties aren't for me. I said no. Jackie was all like, while texting her,
okay then, I'll just go there with her.
Jackie's friend, she's also someone who I knew in the past in my current reality, so I'm not going to say her name either. Let's just say her name is Samantha. I don't know. So it just popped in the top of my head, okay? Jackie texted Samantha and she told her that she was going to meet up with her and go to that party with her. They wanted to go right away for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was school the next day. But yeah, they decided to go right after Jackie said yes to going. So yeah, Jackie left. We said our goodbyes. And I just went back upstairs. Right when I was about to sit down at my desk in my room, I got a text message from Silas. We see each other at school, so he already told me this, but he texted me happy birthday again. And he wanted to know what I was doing right now and if I was having a good birthday. I texted him back saying, oh, I'm actually not doing anything right now. He texted me something along the lines of, let's meet. Like, let's meet up. This was something that he usually would not do. So me and Silas have known each other for quite a long time now. We didn't grow up together, but we went to the same schools together. Middle school and high school. And we've always had the same classes. So we would always see each other, and I had a crush on him. I had feelings for him. And I had a feeling that he did too, but I wasn't sure because he wasn't straightforward about it. When he texted me that and he said that he wanted to meet up, I was like, he would not usually do this. What is he gonna do? Oh my gosh, I never even told you about how I look like. Okay, so what I look like in that reality is what my MC looks like in Love and Deepspace. And I will show that somewhere because I'm using my phone to record and I can't show you directly. But my hair was much shorter. It was past my shoulders. It was like right here. It wasn't too long. Most of the time I would be wearing my high school uniform. It was a plaid skirt with a button-up shirt with a pocket right here. I changed out of my uniform and I changed into a dress. It's pretty cute. I dressed up a little bit and I wore a dress that was layered. Oh gosh, how am I gonna find a picture of this? The first layer was chiffon material and underneath it was a thicker material. It showed through the chiffon material and it was so pretty. It was like sparkly. It was in the color navy blue, but it was also hints of other colors too. He said he wanted to meet at a street that was close by, so we were going to meet up there. But before I left the house, while I was in my room still, I got another text message, but it was not from Silas or anyone that I knew. They said to stay away from Silas or else you'll get killed. They were threatening me. My initial reaction was like, what? Why would I stay away from Silas? I was so confused. I was like, who is this person? Why are they texting me? Especially when I'm about to go meet him. Like, that was so sus. I was so curious about this text message and who this person was and why they were texting me this, that I had to tell Silas about it. Like, I really wanted to tell him. I went downstairs. I was like, Dad, so I'm actually going to be doing something right now. And I'm going to hang out with a friend because it was my birthday. He didn't care. So he's like, okay, go have fun. I went outside. I was like, okay, bye. It was so dark. There was no one around though. And it was a pretty clean and friendly neighborhood. I don't usually go outside alone at night, like this late at night. So I was kind of worried, but I tend to get worried. That's just me being me. I worry sometimes, and for no reason even. Yeah, I had nothing to worry about because I was like, it wasn't that far. I'm walking straight, right? And I see Silas coming up with his car. It's obvious it's him because he stands out so much. I don't know much about cars, but it was a dark red and the hood was open. As I walk up to his car, he parks the car and he gets out. When he looked at me, he raised his brow and he was like, oh. He said something along the lines of, someone's looking really nice on their birthday. I was kind of shy about it, but I was like, yeah. And being like, with my flowy dress whenever I did this. He went around the car, around the front of the car, and then he opened the door for me. I was like, wow, what a gentleman you're being. I went in and then I sat down and I was like, where are we going? He was not telling me where we were going. He was like, I know a place somewhere. And I was like, I was waiting for him to finish his sentence. I was waiting for him to tell me, but he wasn't telling me. He wasn't telling me. So I was like, okay, whatever. Okay, fine. I like the stars. I like nature. I like things like that. And he brought us to a place where you're able to see the stars, even though there are a lot of city lights. We walked along this concrete path and all around us was nature. And when you look up, you're able to see so clearly the stars. I was pretty surprised. I was like, wow, you know this place? Like, how do you know this place? It was so nice. I kept looking up at the stars. I was like, oh my gosh, how are you able to see the stars like this so clearly when we live in a city where there's so many lights? I was so busy taking in the view that I was quiet. I was having a good time, even though it was something so simple. I saw him just looking at me, watching me looking up at the stars and being so happy. I wanted it back. When I looked towards that way and I saw him smiling as he looked at me, I did not know what to do. Even though I was quiet, he wasn't, I don't know, he wasn't saying like, oh, why are you quiet? It was like a comfortable silence between us and we were enjoying each other's company. We didn't have a curfew or anything, but I didn't want to make my dad worried, so I wanted to go back home. So Silas drove me back home. He parked his car a little bit far from where my house was. From there, he walked me to my house. Right when we started walking, I suddenly remembered that one text message I got. When I remembered, I was like, oh, Silas, earlier tonight, I got this text message from someone that I don't know. I could tell on his face that he was like concerned. He looks serious and he doesn't usually like show his emotions, you know? In my head, I was like, oh, he definitely knows this person. He was silent for some time and he had this serious look on his face for a second. But then he went back to his old self. He said that he knew her and that I shouldn't reply back. I should not talk to her. I should stay away from her. He wasn't really being clear about who she was. Silas, he's more vulnerable in this reality. I don't know if it's because he was younger or if it's because this is a different universe or reality, but yeah, he was more vulnerable. He told me not to worry about it. It was obvious to me that it was bothering him. Even by the time we said our goodbyes, it looked like it was still bothering him. He walked me to the door and we said goodbye to each other, or goodnight, and he left. He didn't run to his car, but he moved pretty fast to go back to his car. And then I went inside. I was like, hey, what happened? I'm just going to do it as it says. A few days after, I went to school, did all that. Oh, during school, I guess I could mention this because this shows how our relationship is, me and Silas's. After we had that date, he was talking to me more and he was bothering me more. He sits right behind me, right? And even while the teacher is talking, he would try to get my attention. He's all like poking my back. I'm like, what do you want? After he would get my attention, he would just look at me and he wouldn't say anything. I'd just be like, did you need something? Or he would just stare at me and smile and just be like, give me that look. Just give me that look of his and just be like, I just wanted to hear your voice. I was clearly busy, but he did not care. So that would happen during school. And a few days after school, me and Silas were walking together. We were going to walk together until we had to go our separate ways. All of a sudden, while me and Silas were walking and talking together, he gets a phone call from someone. He looked like he didn't want to answer it, but he answered it anyways. He told the person on the other line to leave him alone. When that happened, I was like, oh, this must be someone who he knows but has bad relationship with. As we're walking, a few minutes later, there's this girl who comes out of nowhere and takes me. I was just walking, right? And then 1 second later, I was on top of a tall place where you could see buildings from below. The buildings looked very small, so we were that high up. I wasn't really scared. I was like, what is happening? What just happened? Sorry, I have to be quiet now because it's getting late. Then all of a sudden, Silas appears out of thin air in front of us, in front of me and this girl. Oh, right. When we landed, I fell down on the floor and I stayed on the floor. I was just so shocked. She starts to talk first before he got a chance to talk. She was asking him, like,
why are you hanging out with a normal girl like her? Why are you hanging out with this girl? Why are you hanging out with this nobody?
Silas, he was standing tall. He's like, leave her alone. Stop this. He said something along the lines of, you have no right to be doing this. Okay, so Silas, he was looking at me from time to time because he wanted me to get away from her, but it looked like he didn't know what she was going to do. Me, just still shocked. I just lied there on the ground like a fool. I should have done something. Like I should have just ran towards him or something. But I was just watching them and listening to them talk. I should have read the situation faster. But anyways, I actually did not know what they were talking about because, well, I didn't know the history behind them, and Silas didn't tell me anything about her. Eventually, I snapped out of it. In my head, I was like, whatever's happening right now is happening, okay? But I need to do something. So I tried to get up. She saw me standing up and trying to go towards the opposite direction of her, so where Silas was. Oh my gosh, of course she was gonna see me. She suddenly teleported to where I was, and then she grabbed onto my wrist and she faced Silas and asked him,
why her?
We were going towards the edge. Silas, right then and there, he was about to fight her. Like, he did not want to fight, but he was about to fight her. I saw him change into almost like a different person, and there was this like aura around him. But before he could do anything, before he could fight her, she pushed me. She pushed me off the edge of the building. She pushed me like this, and then I fell backwards. In my head, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to die? How am I supposed to save myself in this situation? Like, what am I supposed to do? Right after I had those thoughts, I saw Silas running, and then like pretty much like skydiving down towards me, like a swimmer diving into a pool. Silas jumped off the building, and then he dived towards me. And oh my gosh, when I shifted back and remember this, I was like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of that one episode, I think it was the last episode, in Orange High School Host Club. Okay, this is spoilers if anyone who hasn't watched it yet and is going to watch it. But yeah, it was similar to the scene where Tamaki went after Haruhi. I was suddenly in his arms. Like, he was like holding me. He was trying to console me. He said out loud, close to my ear, I'm here, I got you, you don't have to worry. And then suddenly we were on the floor. We were standing on our own 2 feet again, on the ground. Still hugging. Still hugging, by the way. This is kind of personal because he mentioned a bit of his past, and I want to respect him and his decision for telling me about his past when it was hard for him to do that. I'll shorten it. In that moment, he opened up to me. That brought us even closer together. We knew that we had feelings for each other, and we knew that we wanted to be together. After that, we were pretty much dating. A few days later, I shifted back. So that was what happened while I was in my Love and Deepspace DR. I've never shifted to a place like this before. Actually, it's my first reality that I shifted to that I have a script for. I hope y'all enjoyed this shifting story or these shifting stories. That's it.